For Unit 4, I'll be learning about confidence intervals and hypothesis testing with one example. The syllabus reads to us that we should analyze this systematic approach to hypothesis testing. So we have at the top tier, at the header, the hypothesis testing, and underneath we have the systematic approaches to analyzing the to going back to analyze the hypothesis testing. So we have the hypothesis test. Next we have systematic approaches used to connect with the hypothesis test. Those analysis and the hypothesis test, between the two, there we will have the systematic approaches. Next we will have to gain the ability to apply the use of confidence intervals to make generalizations about an unknown business populations. Again, for Unit 4 confidence intervals and hypothesis testing, we will apply the use of confidence intervals to make generalizations about an unknown business populations. First, we have hypothesis testing and the analysis of those systematic approaches to analyzing hypothesis testing. Then we will analyze confidence intervals to make. So we will use confidence intervals to make broad generalizations on or about unknown business populations. Third, we will construct various hypothesis tests used in statistical analysis. Again, construct various hypothesis tests used in statistical analysis. So we have analytical statistics, and the construction of various hypothesis tests are used in this area of statistical analysis. So first, we have hypothesis testing. Then underneath we have elements or avenues, or we can read it as it says systematic approaches. We have systematic approaches that will be used to connect the information together from the hypothesis testing to the systematic approaches analysis. Then we will use confidence intervals to make broad generalizations about about an unknown business's populations. So the business may be known, but the population may be unknown. Or it could be an unknown business with an unknown population size. And third, we will construct various hypothesis tests to use in statistical analysis. Yes, so first we have hypothesis test. Underneath we have systematic approaches. We will analyze those systematic approaches we will analyze the systematic approach to hypothesis testing. So we have hypothesis testing at the top, then underneath we have the systematic approaches. Next, we will apply the confidence intervals. We have confidence intervals in this Unit 4. We have confidence intervals and we have hypothesis testing. So here, where we have these two in coexistence, they are commingled. They are in partnership. So we will apply the use of confidence intervals to make generalizations about an unknown business population. We will also construct various hypothesis tests used in statistical analysis. Yes. Next, we will move on to reading the introduction to Unit 4, confidence intervals and hypothesis testing. Confidence intervals. So here it begins. Statistics are no substitute for judgment. Statistics are no substitute for judgment. Unquote of Henry Clay. Unquote of Henry Clay. Statistics are no substitute for judgment. And statistics is the grammar of business. Unquote of another person. But here it says to us that statistics are no substitute for judgment. by Henry Clay. In this unit, you will learn about key concepts and terms. In this unit, you will learn about key concepts and terms associated with confidence intervals and hypothesis testing with one sample. So we will learn about confidence intervals and hypothesis testing with one sample. Have you ever wondered about the average number of marbles in a bag? Again, have you ever wondered about the average number of marbles in a bag? Have you, my friend, have you ever wondered the average number of marbles in a bag? Knowledge about confidence intervals could help you with estimating that number. The knowledge of confidence intervals could help you with estimating the average number of marbles in a bag. On completion of reading and homework activities, you should be able to perform calculations that will help you be more accurate and when estimating average rent in your city. So this is used when calculating averages. So we have the first example of calculating the average amount of marbles in a bag, and then next we use confidence intervals to estimate the average price of rent in a city. Next, determining the average number of songs that a consumer downloads monthly from popular media libraries, or applying hypothesis testing to similar problems. If your confidence in validity and predictions is not high, if your confidence in validity, what is validity? How do we define validity? I have an idea how clear something is, truthful and clear. That's what I understand it, but let's get Google's definition. Validity, the quality of being logically or factually sound. Soundness or cogency or cogency. Soundness or cogency. The state of being legally or officially binding or acceptable. In Arabiya, it's صحة الصاد حاء المربوطة صحة أو شرعية. I like شرعية. So validity, the quality of being logically or factually sound, soundness or cogency. The state of being legally or officially binding or acceptable. Yes. So if your confidence intervals, or if you are confident in the quality of being logically and factually sound, soundness or cogency, if you are confident in being logically and factually sound, yes, if you are confident in your validity and predictions is still not high. So what is validity? Validity, my friends, I come to share with you tonight that validity is the quality. It's qualitative. So when you come to confidence intervals, you're not only dealing with measuring and estimating numerical values of quantitative data, but you are also qualifying. You are bringing forth validity. Validity is qualitative, all right? Because it says the quality of being factual or logically sound, being logically or factually sound, soundness or cogency, the state of being legally or officially binding or acceptable. If your confidence in validity and predictions is still not high, hypothesis testing with one sample may be the right tool to test your assumptions. Some would say maybe multiple samples you would need so that you could weigh the odds and win the opportunity of having at least one sample the most accurate. But here it says if your confidence in validity and predictions is still not high, your validity, your state of being legally or officially binding or acceptable, or the quality of being logically or factually soundness or cogency, if that's not there enough, if your confidence in validity and predictions is still not high, hypothesis testing with one sample may be the right tool to test your assumptions. To improve your decisions, you will learn how to create hypotheses and test your assumptions. To improve your decisions with confidence intervals, to improve your decisions, business decision making, you will learn how to create hypotheses and test your assumptions. You got hypotheses, creating hypotheses, and testing your assumptions. In this unit, you will have the opportunity to learn how to do the following. 1. Apply the use of confidence intervals to make generalizations about an unknown business population. 2. Analyze the systematic approach to hypothesis testing. 3. Construct various hypothesis tests used in statistical analysis. The course learning materials and resources for this unit include the following: textbook, the Muse. The materials and resources will help to set you on the right path for successful completion of this unit and will provide support for your assignments. Below you will find step-by-step directions to complete Unit 4 successfully. It is recommended that you set aside time throughout the week to focus on completing these steps before the end of the unit. Focus on completing the steps. Focus on completing these steps before the end of the unit. Developing time management skills is an important part of success in your program as well as in your career. So next, after reading that, I would move on to reading Chapter 8, Confidence Intervals, and Chapter 9, Hypothesis Testing, with one example. So we're in Unit 4, and we are learning confidence intervals and hypothesis testing with one sample.